I want first of all to congratulate the daughters of Mary and Joseph on your bicentenary day, your bicentenary celebrations today in this Cathedral of Mbarara. We are happy to have with us Bishop Kaburungu, Bishop of Ngozi in Burundi, who is here with us. Bishop Egidio, the Bishop Emeritus of Kasese, who originates from this diocese, is also with us. The sister who was announcing and another one showing us the flags cheated us in one thing. Because I like watching football, and among the football countries, apart from Cameroon in Africa, there is also Brazil. And I saw the flag of Brazil, but they didn't talk about it. And I know the former Superior General, one of them, Sister Ruth, used to tell me about the presence of DMJS in Brazil. Hearing it from a Superior General, you know it is true. Something happened on the way which they chose not to tell us. But we are glad the flag of Brazil is also with us, even though they didn't introduce it formally. But standing on the promises of God, as we have been singing, the DMJs have traveled in all those countries, standing on the promises of God. First, the founder, then the pioneering sisters who came to Africa, and even those who went to California and England and Ireland and the various other countries. They moved because they were standing on the promises of God. As you have seen the booklet of the DMJs, they aim to be or to reflect God's mercy in the world. Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, once again, welcome to this celebration of the Eucharist, when the congregation of the Daughters of Mary and Joseph are celebrating 200 years of the existence of this congregation. I believe they have been celebrating in various countries, and this time they have come to celebrate here in Uganda. Their friends from Burundi have come also. That's how we happen to have Bishop Kaburungu here, and Bishop Emeritus, still very energetic, of Ngozi Diocese, where the DMJs first came to Africa, in this part of Central and Eastern Africa. Bishop, thank you very much for coming. And from Burundi, through the intervention of Bishop Jean-Marie Auger, the DMJs came to Mbarara, as they told us, in 1959. Bishop Auger had come to Mbarara in 1957, and he noticed that the vicariate which was entrusted to him all the way from Kisoro to Masindi didn't have a single secondary school run by the Catholic Church. And we had other sisters, the founders of the Sisters of Our Lady of Good Counsel sisters from Chicoutimi in Canada. They had been here running other schools like the junior secondary, but Auger, having come from what was then northern Rhodesia, and yet a Frenchman, he said, no, there is a wind of change blowing in the British colonies. India had become independent. Ghana had become independent in 1957, and he could see on the horizon that Uganda would soon be independent also, sooner or later. And yet, he wanted the education of girls in his diocese, and there was no clearly English-speaking school for girls in this country, in this area, in his diocese. So he brought in sisters with a name like Ladies of Mary, and it was very striking to have Ladies of Mary teaching the girls of Ankole, of Fort Portal, of Kigezi, of Bunyoro, and they were going to set it up in Nyamtanga. And he asked his Catholics to contribute 1 shilling only towards the construction of that school. I'm one of the beneficiaries because once the school had started in 1961, I had just joined the senior one in Ichitabe Seminary, and we did not have a center number for O-level exams. The students of Ichitabe who qualified to sit for O-level exams used to go to Ntare School to sit for O-level exams. Previously, they were not allowed to sit for those exams. But then, when Bishop Oje, with the cooperation of the Catholics in this whole diocese with their 1 shilling, had started this secondary school, then the bishop said, I don't want my seminarians to go back to Ntare School for exams. They can sit for their exams in their own Catholic environment. And the most available Catholic environment at that time in this diocese was Maryhill High School, which the Ladies of Mary had started. It has earned me a name to be an OG of Maryhill. So the Ladies of Mary, now known as Daughters of Mary and Joseph, have continued to grow and to serve in this diocese, and also other dioceses connected with Mbarara. They worked in Fort Portal in Kinyamasika. It was a teacher training college for girls, and they were known to be wonderful formators of the girl child. They have continued, they have expanded to Kabale, and then they were instrumental in the starting of the hospital in Ibanda, Uganda Matters Hospital, in Ibanda, Kagongo, and they have a scattered presence there. They have also got a farm in Busheshe, also in Ibanda. They have spread to Kabale, of course. Fort Portal, eventually they left and concentrated here. But although thin on the ground, they have spread some very difficult places. At one time, they went to Karamoja. Karamoja was feared by many people. But the DMJS, standing on the promises of God, went to Karamoja. They worked in Karamoja. The reader of the second reading is from Karamoja. And Sister Martha at the back there is also from Karamoja. And I think there's somebody else who is still taller than Martha, also from Karamoja. So where they have been, they leave a trace. Of course, the cathedral is not so full, but it could be very, very, very full. A number of men in this diocese and outside have benefited from the education skills of the daughters of Mary and Joseph. I do remember, because I was a small boy in the secondary school, when they came here, we used to hear that one of the purposes Bishop Oje started or invited the daughters of Mary and Joseph, looking forward to the independence of this country, he wanted that the future politicians in this country, since they would be interacting with non-Catholic politicians, they should have wives who speak very good English. And Maryhill High School has grown to acquire an accent peculiar to Maryhill girls. I see already in this church, as we are today, I know many would have come, many who have benefited from the ladies that have been trained by the hand of the daughters of Mary and Joseph. These sisters are quiet, they are discreet, but they are effective, very effective. I have known Sister Eileen to teach home economics discreetly but effectively. At one time, our school, now called School of Business Studies, was collapsing in front of us. I approached the DMJS reluctantly, but surely they accepted, and Eileen was the victim. She came and revived that school and put it on the map again, and now I think the university wanted to usurp it and take it into its wings, but it is still there. I think I can also say this. They spoke about the first African, I don't know where Sister Candida, the late, falls, but I think she was number 3. So Josephine, you are still number 1. Congratulations as you celebrate 50 years. Mary Moran, I don't know whether she's here, but Mary Moran has got the blood of the daughters of Mary and Joseph, and she has touched the lives of many because of the seed of the DMJS that was planted in her. I don't know at what time. I do remember Sister Helen, the doctor in Uganda, Sister Bridget Stokes. I think she's among the first ones whose picture is here in front of us, or in front of you. The DMJs are great lovers, not in the bad sense, but they love people. For me, as a seminarian, in the major seminary, partly, when I came back from Scotland in 1971, if ever we wanted a good meal, we went to the DMJs. They cooked well. They cooked well meat, steaks, they cooked well cakes, and they were always in a happy mood. No wonder I didn't know their charism then. But I see those of you who have their booklet, Instruments of Mercy in God's Hands. When they removed the veil and started dressing like other people, people worried that they would disappear. But they didn't disappear. On the contrary, they are expanding in a different way. The new school they have started, called Coloma, after one of their first schools in England, is doing wonders. Hidden from the main road, but very effective. Those of you who have your young children, that is the school to go to. I'm not allowed to advertise in church, but since it is 200 years of the existence of the DMJS, I can talk about that school. Many men, and even some of the women here, are products of the services of the daughters of Mary and Joseph. Either in Maryhill, it is a very big challenge. And yet the witness of a religious community is also a challenge to society. To live in community is a challenge. And to live in an international community even is a bigger challenge. To know people you had never known before and know them as your sisters, as your brothers. When I see girls from Karamoja rubbing shoulders with girls from Ireland and from California, sophisticated societies and unsophisticated, completely rural areas, you realize that God must be at work. You realize that God is at work and that God is indeed love, as the letter of John has enlightened us with. The love of God for us is tremendous. Those who are very far, as St. Paul says, have been brought near. Those who are not a people have become a people, not only people, but children of the Father. When I saw the gospel they chose for today, the famous Gospel of John, chapter 15, those of you who remember, who recall, on 2013, when we were celebrating on behalf of the whole country, leading the liturgy for the feast of the Uganda martyrs in Namugongo, that was our theme as a diocese. I don't call you servants anymore, but I call you friends. And following that teaching of Jesus to his disciples, to his apostles, at the Last Supper, is what the DMJs have tried to emulate in their communities wherever they have been. I had never gone to America. Some of the American sisters I had never seen. America is a very sophisticated society. I met Sister, the provincial here. I met her in the United States. She's coming from England. And when she went to America, she said, even myself coming from England, in the society of the United States, I just feel ill at ease because I'm overwhelmed by everything American. It's a big size of things, big size of the roads. The ideas are very big, but you find that in a society like that, somebody from Karamoja fits. How does that happen? They received us so well. They received me so well. I was amazed. They received me even better than I'm received in Uganda. But there is something of the love of God that goes beyond appearances, goes beyond background, and sees the value that God has put in each one. And it's this that they are sowing in the world where they live and where they work. They are few as a congregation. They were wise. In this booklet, they didn't tell us how many they are altogether. But they are not very many. And yet they are all over the world. All over the world. And where they are, They are a force to reckon with. I didn't know they cared even for lepers. Leprosy is a very bad and dangerous disease. But they are working for lepers in Ghana. And they have never brought them here, those they look after. We would be scared, I can tell you. Even though the faith is growing here, there is a level we have not yet reached. But they have reached where they have reached because they are constantly standing on the promises of God. That's what guided the pioneering sisters. That's what has guided them over the years. From Belgium to England, Belgium is a small country. It used to have a lot of vocations. Now they have diminished and diminished and diminished. But we are happy that by coming to Burundi and to Uganda, the seed of the DMJS has found some level of fertility, and the vocations are increasing slowly but steadily. Who are the sisters from Uganda? Can you stand up and we see? Bakyenga. And those from Burundi? Very good. It is our duty, my brothers and sisters, particularly those of this diocese, to heed the call that John Paul II addressed to us. Particularly we, the people of this country. Uganda has been blessed by the Lord through the gift of the Uganda martyrs. We have saints. Saints who are young people. Hardly anybody was 50. They were all below, I think, Bariku Dembe was the one who was about 37 years of age. And these saints are really our saints. And John Paul II told us that it is a challenge to us Ugandans to see that those who are neighboring us, Sudan, Congo, should not be without evangelizers. And Uganda, we are blessed with vocations. We should think of interesting our young men and women to let the light of the Uganda martyrs shine so that the people around us can benefit from that light of the gospel, like the DMJs have brought to this area. You have heard me appeal to our people that really what has been pushing me in my apostolate, and it has become a kind of song that all the ends of the diocese should see the salvation of our God, that all the ends of the earth should see the salvation of our God. Because once this salvation has not yet reached everywhere, the work that Christ came to bring is not yet complete. I'm happy through the prayers of these sisters, not only these, but even the poor Clares. I believe there are some old girls who have been in the hands of the DMJs who are also in monastic life on this hill. I think Sister Mary Elizabeth, Sister Mary Stephen, and some others. So the seed of the founder of these sisters of Mary and Joseph, who are celebrating 200 years, is penetrating all the avenues of religious life in this diocese and the diocese neighboring to us, in Kabale, in here. I know Bishop Calisti would have loved to come. I think he even lent his car to the people of Kabale to come. The DMJs do influence us, the bishops. Not in a sinister way, but very lovingly. And it is our prayer that that seed may continue to grow. May continue to grow and have fruits that will last, as the Lord promises in that gospel that has just been read to us. So congratulations, Sister Hedwig, from Nyamtanga Parish of all places, that you have stood on the promises of God in the congregation of the DMJs now for the last 25 years. Sister Kashemire Josephine, Niwoyansirize, 50 years. Thank you so much for opening this door to enter the DMJs, because you have been an example to those who have followed you. I'm sure you are also very happy to see people like Sister Deo, Sister, and who is the headmistress of Mary here? Where is she here? Anastasia. You see, the seed of the DMJs in Fort Portal has brought us somebody to continue to run a school that the DMJs started. We are very proud of you. We are happy that you have chosen to celebrate with us, and we look forward to having a very nice day today with you, and you have celebrated very, very, very discreetly. May the Lord bless you and bless you abundantly. I don't know, I wanted to ask you to put it in your ideas for the next 200 years. We are challenged by tertiary education. Tertiary education is a challenge to us. Primary education you have been engaged in, secondary education you have been engaged in, secretarial studies, computer studies. We are seeking to start a university. We are meeting a lot of challenges. With your worldwide experience, please, if we approach you to sit on some of our councils and committees, looking for ideas and possible personnel and possible areas whom we could approach for support to develop tertiary education in our church, we rely on congregations of your type to come to our rescue. Not now, but think about it, pray about it. Standing on the promises of God, we also hope to be able to see the fruition of the university that we are aiming to have. And after all, we are calling that university, University of St. Joseph. And you are daughters of Mary and Joseph. Thank you, and may God bless you abundantly. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, welcome to this celebration of the Eucharist. On this campus of Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School, when they are marking 25 years of existence. Congratulations, Sacred Heart. At an occasion like this, we are offering thanks, offering our gratitude to God for our young ladies and gentlemen who have studied in this school. This place used to be covered in banana plantations and sweet potatoes and beans, growing beans and dry beans. But now it is proud to grow young ladies and gentlemen to do even more than grow bananas, than grow beans. It is a blessing. We thank those whom we know and do not even remember who have put in their efforts to realize this secondary school. I do remember some of the people of Mushanga who came and appealed to us that we give them permission to build a dormitory on church land. I was scared because some people do cheat church land. I was scared that if we put a dormitory belonging to commercial people, the land of the church might be taken away, and Bakyenga, who had signed, will never be able to answer. But thank God, that dormitory and others have come up. The secondary school has started. It has grown. It has got this magnificent campus. For the last 25 years, Sacred Heart continues to mark a great improvement. Today is the feast day of the archangels, the special messengers of God whom he sends in this world for special missions. Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael. In the scriptures we are told that Michael means who is equal to God, because he manifests the strength of God. Raphael means God heals. He is the angel that was sent to heal the blind, especially a man like Tobias in the Old Testament. And Gabriel, as you know, brought the good news that God is going to be with us. He brought the news that God's Son is going to be born on this earth, and that Son has chosen to stay with us until the end of time. And in this school, we honor him under the title of the Sacred Heart. We want the students and the community of Sacred Heart to imitate the heart of God, the heart of love, revealed in his Son, Jesus Christ, who says, "Learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart." Learn to have compassion for others. And now for the many times that our hearts have been far away from the heart of God, as children of his who are supposed to be like him at heart, where we have failed. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, I'm very happy to be here with you. On this day, I have spent quite some time without celebrating the Eucharist for a large gathering for about 2 months, because I left this country at the end of July. I went to see specialized doctors in Germany, and I came back on the 3rd of September, and I have been out of circulation for some time. And then I ended up by discovering that today I was supposed to be in 2 places at the same time. But since I have not yet risen from the dead, to have a gift of bilocation, I chose to come here, while in Nyamtanga at the Poor Clares Monastery, there is another important celebration. One of our young girls from Rushoka is making her solemn profession. So I asked for help from my brother Bishop of Kabale, Bishop Kalister Baramira, because Rushoka, you know, is the last parish in this archdiocese before you cross into Kabale diocese. The language of Kigezi and the language of Ankole meet there. So he accepted to deputize for me at the celebration of the Poor Clares. And I said, let me go to my parish where I was ordained and celebrate Sacred Heart with the people of Mushanga. Congratulations, Sacred Heart Secondary School. You know as well as I do that this name, Sacred Heart, was given to a junior secondary school that existed on this hill, actually in the buildings of St. Mukasa Seminary, where the Sisters of Our Lady of Good Counsel of Shikutimi, Canada, used to run a junior secondary school with the name Sacred Heart. Some of the ladies you see here with some gray hairs and some without gray hairs are old girls of Sacred Heart of those days, when the junior secondary schools were scrapped, when they raised primary school to P7, 7 years of primary school, and 4 years of senior secondary school. The junior secondary schools disappeared in thin air. But the names remained. The names remained, and gradually these names have assumed places of those schools, even when they were just junior secondary schools.